hear my voice, I too now join the ranks of the guy with the cheating wife. The loser. That's how I feel now. So, for the last 4 months I've noticed that my wife, I guess I should give some info first. Sorry if this is a little obtuse and crazy, but I just found out like in 2 hours ago. My wife is 31 years old. We have been married for 6 years and have one child, an amazing boy, who's just a beast and boss hog. He's 4 years old, going to be 5 in May. I'm 34. Back to the point. She's been cheating on me for the last 4 months for what I think has been physical for 3 or 4 weeks, more on that later. Back in early December she began getting on Facebook. A lot, more than often, and started chatting up a co-worker. She works in a real estate office. Now this damn D-bag is a married guy as well. He's a tad bit older than me, I think late 30s, early 40s. Not sure, and I'm sure he has at least 1 or 2 kids. I know he has kids. What a jerk. So, I guess in February I noticed that she was becoming sort of withdrawn and short with me. Detaching, I guess. Our physical life was still great at least 5 times a week, sometimes more. So, I just sort of chalked it up as just being married and wife stuff. Then about 3 weeks ago our physical life trickled off big time. We've had slept together 3 times since about the end of Feb. This is when I went into full recon mode. I know my wife very well. I've known her since we were 9. Childhood friends who lost touch when we went off to college, then reconnected. So, I know the lying trash well. I was told by a friend who caught his ex-wife that the phone and Facebook is the key to catching intel on the lying trash. So that's what I did. Well, because I'm not new at IT, I got her Facebook info easily. Nothing was out of line, other than way too much convos and likes by each of them, but nothing out of line. So, then the quest for the phone began. She's clever. She tried using apps that delete all messages by selected numbers. But because these apps require a computer to start them the first time, her hard drive wasn't cleaned out yet. So tonight, while she slept, I got into her computer and was able to run a system restore of her phone back to the beginning of December. What I found was shocking. Thousands of texts to this D-bag, and then I got to February's text. This is when I think it got physical. Then the pictures. I'll never forget these, ever, in my life. These pictures of her having fun with another guy will forever be in my brain. That was tonight. I'm surprisingly calm. I guess I'm just waiting. I want to divorce her. I hate her now. But my little boy is the X factor. I want him to have his mother. But if we divorce, I will fight for custody with every fiber of my being. It will be intense. Scorched earth policy. I will ruin her life. If she tries and takes my son, it's game on. And it's a game that she will lose. Badly. So that's my early Sunday morning in beautiful SoCal. How's yours? I'm fairly sure that I hate her, and I will be maneuvering for divorce. I have all photos saved on local and off-site locations. Also, I think I want to serve her D papers at work. I want to ruin her as much as possible. So, I'm going to wait till Monday to start things through. Hopefully, I can hold out. We got to go to her parents' house for anniversary dinner tomorrow. Not ours. Theirs. They've been married 28 years. Looks like we'll fall short of that mark by a few. I'm glad my friend told me about this and sites like it. Hopefully it will help. This is really crappy, and I will be exposing the D-bag to his wife. That is a fact. Alright, I got a few minutes of alone time. She's outside playing with my son, acting like things are just normal and peaky and we're the perfect little family and she's the perfect little wifey and mommy. Makes me sick. I know I'm strong enough to handle this, and I will. I have VARs around the house. Had them put in about 2 weeks ago. Check them almost daily. I got VARs in both cars, but I haven't checked hers in about a week. Do I even want to at this point? All there could be is more pain in it. I don't make 100 grand or anything like that a year. My profession is more about saving lives and running into burning buildings when most people run out of them. But maybe that's why she's cheating, so she can move up in the world. Dumb idiot. I'm going to do everything that you guys have told me about exposure. Scorched earth policy. I'm still really calm, but angry but inadequate control. I perform well under pressure, and this is the most emotional pressure I've ever been in. So, I guess in the next few weeks, we'll see what I'm made of. Trial by fire, I guess. We just got a FNG in the house and we got to coach him up good. Hell, he deserves more attention than my WW. She's such a loser. I'm watching her now through the kitchen windows playing with my son. Better sulk it up, mommy of the year. Not going to be many moments like this in your future. Here she comes. Got to go. Have to get ready for her parents' dinner. I hope everything goes normal at this thing. Pray for me. God, this sucks. I'm doing about as good as one can expect after seeing pics of the woman you love blowing another dude. Yeah, I've been talking to 5 attorneys these past 2 days, having my crew cover for me. Their support is unlike anything I've ever experienced. Truly brothers tested in fire. I love them. I will be exposing the affair via serving wife D papers at her work. Then hopefully with some careful timing exposing to D-bag's wife. Poor woman, I can only sympathize with what she will go through. I'm torn between showing her pictures or not. I think I just want to give her messages, but if she needs more, I will. but the text messages are graphic enough. Again, I'm going to get through this. With support from my crew, you guys and my family, I will be a stronger and better man. Not that I needed her affair to make me a stronger man, but I will come out of this on top. I was basically in the mindset that my wife was cheating on me, at least emotionally, and when she stopped getting physical as often as we normally did, I knew it was more likely than not going physical. But seeing pics of your wife with another man was heartbreaking and gut-wrenching. I have an incredibly strong stomach and am used to seeing really horrific things that human beings have happened to them, but seeing those pics actually made me sick. So no, I will not show her the pics. Stress and pressure sucks, but it's always brought the best out in me. So hopefully I'll come out the other side a better and tougher man. I've got to admit, I have my doubts sometimes if I can hold up, but then I look at my son and my will and resolve hardens. I will be better and I will not give in. He deserves to have a great father and a happy father. Half a year later, things are pretty good, all things considered. The divorce will be finalized in about 7 weeks hopefully. It's gone relatively smooth on the splitting of assets and custody. A few bumps here and there. He agreed to joint custody 50-50 for our son, as I believe that a son needs his mom, even if his mom cheated on her husband. Speaking of, I can't help but kind of give myself a high five and chest bump the way I handled D-Day and exposure. Not only did I accomplish the goal of having ex-wife served at work, but it happened in front of everyone, including the D-Bag OM at the same time. I exposed her to friends and family, far and wide. It was legit. She freaked out, came home in tears and absolutely shocked. She was crying and shaking. I thought about holding her, but then I realized I didn't want to catch cheating dumb WH0 syndrome. So, I just watched the breakdown. Then I said, in a cold, calculating tone, I need you to pack a few things and go stay with your sister or parents for a while. I don't think our son needs to see you in this state. So please, get off the floor and start packing some things and leave. And she did. Owned. It worked. I really couldn't believe it, but full-on exposure and a cool, calm attitude crushed her into submission. I wanted to do a huge celebration or something, but I kept my cool demeanor as she got packed in tears, saying how she loves me and I'm her heart and soul. What the hell? And how she didn't love OM and that she thought of me during her time with him. Blah, blah, blah. I just was like, yeah, I understand. But you need to leave, so just focus on packing your clothes. She said she wanted to go get our son and take him with her. I said not going to happen. I guess I kind of got all alpha male on her and kind of intimidated her a bit, and she really started crying. She even said that I could go have other girls and stuff, and then we could be even. All sorts of really crazy and messed up things started coming out of her mouth. Like she thought I was having an affair when she was pregnant, and that she feels that she's not good enough for me and that she doesn't like how women look and flirt with me, and that I could even bring another girl home. Like all guys, I've fantasized about my wife with another girl, but I was never really serious about it, and it would break her heart, but she would let it happen. I mean, just some wacky stuff. Well, she left, but not after she tried to sleep with me, but I turned her down. I got to admit, it was really tough as my wife is so beautiful, even when she cries. Then she just got quiet and cried into my chest. She said, "Do you hate me?" I said, "I don't hate you, but I can't stand the sight or sound of you and you really need to leave. But yes, I kind of hate you." Then she left, and then I cried, uncontrollably. I wept. I think it was just the stress and the realization that this all happened in about 2 hours. I just sat on the couch and cried, for a while. Then I stopped and took a long cold shower. After I felt pretty good. Our son was confused that mom wasn't living in the house anymore, but I told him that mommy and daddy are going to not be around each other like we used to. That mom and dad have decided the best thing would be to just be mom and dad. Then I hugged him and held him for what seemed like an eternity. Big changes happened. But with my incredibly family support and great friends, I adapted to being a single dad pretty well. The ex-wife moved in with her parents for a few months, then got herself a small house to rent. I never kept our son from his mom. When he wanted to see her and stay with her, I let him. I feel that, because I have such a strong relationship with my mother, my son deserves at least the opportunity to form a bond with his mom, even if his mom did something bad to his father. I felt that being a good father and adult required me to encourage a good relationship with his mom. But it hasn't been all smooth sailing. I've had some setback and have almost or been on the verge of messing everything up. When I told the OM wife, she wanted to meet. After we met, she totally wanted to bang. I could have banged the wife of the guy that banged my wife. I thought about it. I really did. But then I thought that I wouldn't let my wife's behavior curve mine, so I didn't do it. But again, it was so tempting. My ex-wife didn't stop trying to win me back. She consistently, still does, makes advancements towards me. And I've almost slipped up. Almost. But I've done okay. This has been a very emotional time in my life. And I've found a newfound energy, an extra gear, I guess. I have trucked through it. Now, I have had some fun when my son is with his mother. And oh boy, has ex-wife really gotten jealous. I can't help it. With all this stress I need release. And there are plenty of women who are willing to release it with me. Nothing serious, but I got a consistent booty call list going on. It's nice, but I do miss my wife, I won't lie, I love her. Big time. It's been so tough. I mean, my God, she's absolutely stunning and we just have it. Now, I am going full steam into the divorce. I will not reconcile with her or placate and become a doormat. But I do crave her. It makes me sad and anxious. I wish I could go no contact, but that's impossible. And plus, if I'm honest, I don't really want to. Like I said, emotionally draining. This has been the only thing that shocked me about this, how much I still love my ex-wife. On D-Day I basically despised and lamented her. But it did change, and we have had some arguments and she has gotten crude and downright mean to be, but for the most part, I can tell she's very remorseful about what she did. I have thought about taking her back, but then I think about the lying and the pictures, and I just can't do it. There's something in me that won't let me, I guess. I just wish it never had happened. I wish it were an emotional affair or something. Maybe then I could have reconciled. But I can't, and I won't, and I'm sad about it. But life goes on and I'm a better man and father because of this. So, like my grandpa used to say, shave that dog and teach it to hunt. Chin up cowboy, saddle in, you got things to do. Comment, well, I'm probably perverse but I would have been so tempted to sleep with OM's wife. Then send her back to OM. But I suppose you did the right thing. OP responds, like I said, it was really tempting. If I didn't have a son, I would have done it. I would have handled this whole thing differently. But I didn't want my wife or scumbag OM finding out somehow, and it is hurting me in the eyes of the courts. Funny thing though, that evening my ex-wife tried to sleep with me again. So, in theory I could have pounded OM's wife, then banged my ex-wife in the same day. But like I said, I'm trying to keep the drama at bay. Plus, I'm doing fine in that area. I am getting plenty of play. Oh, my ex-wife's parents were massively disappointed in her. Both her father and mother, but they didn't shun her or disown her, but suffice it to say, they gave her some harsh truth and advice. The only real shunning she has gotten is from her best friend who has also been cheated on by her ex-hubby. She is very upset with her still and it's been nearly 7 months. I think they might never be friends again. She's also a pretty good friend of mine. Also, my parents, especially my mom, is disgusted and pissed off big time. They haven't talked to her. Nothing in 7 months. Shame, because they got along pretty well, but not known. However, some jerks and bottom feeder friends have really come to her aid and really talked up her cheating and talked down my reaction. Especially, this one hoe she works with toxic friend. But what can you expect? Rumor has it she's cheating or cheated on her hubby lots. So, birds of a feather, you know. But my ex is really regretting what she's done and I have no doubt she's still in love with me. Problem is, I don't need or want that her type of love. But I can't help but miss her and I do crave her. I've had a lot of women since, but I think of my ex a lot. Not good. But damn, nothing's perfect and I think I executed my plan pretty well. I can't help how I feel. I just feel the way I feel, you know. My only question is what should I do to maybe not think about her so much? I can't have no contact and even if I could, I don't think I'd really want to. Someone asked if my wife knew that I still love her. I know she does. I mean I haven't told her, but she can feel it. Prior to my wife we had such an incredible bond. Not just physical, which despite having a little kid, was really good. But the emotional bond is what I loved the most. I just felt so close to her. I felt that she was a part of my being. I can't really explain it, it was just so good. A little background about me, I know that I've come across as a pretty good guy, but prior to me meeting my wife and having my kid I was a very selfish person. I was a bad boy too. I got into fights a lot and basically my routine was this FCK, fight and drink. I did things in my early and even till I was about 24 that I'm not proud of. I've been the other man many times when I was younger, so partly I feel that I deserved this in way. And that's why I really don't want to engage in poor selfish behavior, karma. But most importantly my son. He needs his father to be a strong leader, a man who's got character, toughness, confidence, and wisdom. Not the 23-year-old version of his dad. It's all about being the best for my son. It's my only purpose here. I don't want her out of my life, I just don't. I'm still in love with her. I wrestle with hatred and disgust with her and then love and craving her. She knows this. She started texting me. First it was about her son and stuff. Then she started really ramping it up. She was texting me, really illicitly. I mean stuff that was like, really hot. I can't help it. So, I guess we had like dirty texting or whatever. After this I was really confused and felt embarrassed. Then this morning she started up again and told me she loved me and that after the divorce she still won't give up getting me back. I'm shocked, I guess. I'm very confused. I actually want her to hate me or be disgusted with me. It would make this go easier. Right now, I don't know what's up. And get this one. So when she heard that I was getting some action when she was with our son, the next week when he was with me, she posted stuff on FB of her going out and dancing and she even bragged about having game and that she took a young guy home. And that she and I quote learned from the best player in the game. Me. That's a private joke we had about my past when we were dating and newlyweds. She uses to say that she married the best player in the game and she was proud she could tame the beast. This was purposely done. It's like she did this to get my attention, which is scary and dumb. I think she's got poor coping skills, or something. Or she's just nuts. But then again, so am I guess. Like I said, it hasn't gone all according to plan. But the divorce is on the way, and I will not relent or hesitate, nor for a second. I am 100% committed to dissolving the marriage. It's just the game she's playing. I mean, she hasn't really fought me on anything. She moved out, like I asked. She's giving me the house, like I asked. Custody agreement, like I asked. Everything. Then she's kept trying to get me back. She is very competitive. She likes to win at things. She a lot like me in that respect. I think this is her way of coping with losing me. She's perceiving that she can win me back. It's sad, but I can't help that. My son told me today that he wants to see his mom. So, I think I'll let him stay with her for at least a couple days. When I told my wife, she was overwhelmed with happiness. She said that the way she's encouraged and let her spend time with our son has been amazing. She told me that I was an amazing man, full on charm. I tried to not let it make me happy, but it did. Yes, I still do care how she views me, but I think time will fade that. I hope. And I am not going to not divorce her. I am fully committed to that. I have gotten everything I wanted. After D-Day I contemplated not letting her see our son. Possession is 9/10 of the law. But I thought that would be overtly abusive and nasty, using my son against his mother. Plus, she is a good mom. Her affair stuff happened during her work hours. Never did her affair impact her time with our son. She's a good mom, just a poor wife and lying cheating W. But live and learn, you know. She began emotionally being a little distant to me about 6 or 7 weeks prior to D-Day. I believe this is when the PA began. I think she was in an emotional affair probably 2 or 3 weeks prior to that with Scumbag. She told me she had an affair because she felt that I had or was having lots of affairs in the past and stuff, and she felt that I can be, and I quote, emotionally vacant. She told me she was not in love with OM, that I was a better lover and blah, blah, blah. A bunch of crazy WW talk. She tells me almost every time we talk that she loves me still and isn't giving up on us even after the divorce. But lately she's been volatile and nasty to me. She's cruel and mean. One day like recently she told me that she wished she would have cheated more and that I am abusive. Then the next she says she loves me and can't fathom me not in her life. Then the next she calls me a womanizer and tells me that I'm going to turn our son into me. He should be so lucky. So, yeah, I guess she's just really seeing that her affair was not worth our family and that she is really, really getting jealous of all the hotties I've been with. I still do love her. I am in therapy about it. It sucks. Divorce sucks. But it's really the only way to go with a WW. Really though, my biggest concern is an easy transition for my son. My feelings and issues are secondary. My short answer to why she cheated is because she wanted to and because she could, like all cheaters. But she got caught, like all cheaters eventually do. And like all cheaters, she is regretting her life choices. Doing alright. It's been a tough week, not just divorce related. Had a tough work week too. But I'm hanging in there. Son is doing well. Took him to shoot hoops the other day for the first time. It was epic. Still sad but coping. About all you can do really. Just cope. My Thanksgiving was epic. My son and I had it with my parents and family, and my kid and his cousins played football till it was dark outside. It was a real awesome moment. It was cool. Damn, sometimes, well, most of the time, I wish I was kid again. It was a great day. But my ex and I were chatting yesterday and she asked me something that has bothered me. She said, "Do you regret that you met me?" I was shocked and said, "Hell no. Meeting you and having you in my life saved my life. You made me become a better man. I was on a path of poor behavior and destruction before I started with you. I was not a good guy, partying all the time, lying, cheating, fighting. No direction. Before you, I sucked at life pretty hard. It may have appeared that I was the ultimate player with a great life and stuff, but I was a broken person." Then I said, "Why do you ask that?" She said, "Well, you've moved on so well. The way you handled my stupid affair, then the separation, and on top of that being the dad you are, then getting a promotion. Then you've had a lot of other women. I just feel I'm not and never have been good enough for you. I just feel empty. I feel that you'll forget about me." Again, a convo that turned from how cool our son is in the AFC West playoff picture turned into this. It caught me off guard. It really did. Thoughts. I am trying to disconnect with her but I can't. She and I just are too similar and have common stuff, I guess. It's beginning to get murky here. I was so sure of everything prior to divorce. I mean, I was a calm, cool, methodical BS ready to set flame to the marriage and her affair. I think this is just repressed emotions. It has to be right. Some sort of delayed sadness and second-guessing mechanisms. I'm confused. Shouldn't it be easier after divorce? I hate this now. I feel dumb. I feel off. Part of me is like, this is all a ploy. She's a selfish dumb W who has no respect for you. It's all about her. She's trying to manipulate you. Don't be dumb. Then part of me is like, wow, I guess she really is having a hard time with this. And she does still love me. What do I do now? Thoughts? And please, guys and gals, say whatever you really think. I'm a blunt kind of guy. Don't kid gloves this. I value your objectivity, because I think mine is dwindling here. The pics are bad. They just are what they are. In one of the more heated conversations I had with her, this was about 2 or 3 weeks after she got the boot, I asked her why she had the pics and kept them on our home computer. She said, "I don't know. I'm a bad person. It was the thrill of doing this. I don't know. I'm just a terrible person and wife and mother. I don't know why, I just did it. So, yeah, the pics are the icing on the cake, so to speak. If I even do consider, if, a really, really big if, consider reconciling, there will be certain aspects that we will have to address in therapy big time. She's already seeing a therapist, which is good for her. Cause obviously her low self-esteem, impulse control, and deceitful nature ruined her marriage and family. I'm not taking her back. At least in the immediate future I see no reconciling. The divorce is finalized. The marriage is dissolved. I got everything I wanted. It was a very clean break for me. But I think of her all the time. And I love her. I have not told her that. But I do. The dinner is Saturday. So, I guess we'll see. I still can't believe she had an affair. It is the ultimate enigma and paradoxical event in my life. We were fine with finances. We still made each other laugh. And most importantly, even into the emotional and I think even a bit into the part of the affair, we were sleeping together 4 to 5 times a week. Really good bonding. It did almost cease the last 5 or so weeks of her affair. That's when I knew. But I run through all the scenarios about the marriage that may have caused her affair. As I do think we did become distant, but that was because of her affair. But I really can't think of a reason why she cheated. And that is scary, cause it just affirms my perspective about my wife. She cheated just to do it. She cheated so she could have that over me. She cheated for the thrill and rush. I don't think I can take someone like that back. About karma. Yeah, this is karma. I believe in it. I thought having a gun to my head and begging for my life after getting sucked off by someone's fiancé was karma enough for all my deeds when I was younger. But no, the powers that be issued karma in a bad way. Not that I deserved any of this, but I'm just saying. What goes around comes around, I guess. I ruined relationships when I was younger. I was a punk and douche to the extreme. But I did change. I can't imagine being the other man now. I just can't. I never cheated on my ex-wife. I never needed to. I had a very, very wild and fun time from the age of 20 to 24. I grew out that area of my life, thank God. Too bad I can't say the same for my ex. She just had to have a little taste. Stupid girl. She's immature. And again, this is something she can only work on and fix. She has a lot of work to do with herself. And our son loves his mom so much. She's a great mother. She even was during her dirty sessions with OM. They only occurred at work. And that is the sole reason I didn't fully destroy her world and crush her. My son loves his mom. As long as she continues to have a great relationship with our kid, I'm okay. The other stuff with her, I'll figure out. It's just going to take a while. I thought I had a quick recovery going on. I guess not. So, my son is picking up that something isn't quite right to why mommy and daddy aren't together anymore. Today he said, why isn't mom allowed to live here with us? He also said, did mom do something wrong to you, daddy? Did she hurt you? Why can't she be around you? She's around me and I really like being around mommy. Why don't you want to? Well, I distracted him and skirted the question. I think his mind is occupied. For now. Week later, the dinner went well. There was some drama, I suppose, and some emotion, but nothing too crazy. We met, we ate, we slept together, then we banged some more, then got into a fight, then slept together some more. I stayed over at her place, woke up and repeat. But nah, don't work for this guy. I told her I had a great time, but this is not a relationship, nor is this reconciling, and I'm not exclusively seeing her. And I said there should be no expectation of that from me or her as well. She said she doesn't want other men, only me. I told her, well, I'm still playing the field and looking. She got a little upset, but I gave her another big O and she felt better, lol. She said she will wait for me and she told me she will get me back and our family will be together again. She told me she knows this will take a long time, and she isn't trying to manipulate or mess with my head, she just wanted to tell the truth. I was like, amazing how many shades a leopard can be. But you can't really change your spots. She cried a little and said it was all her fault and the affair had nothing to do with me. She told me she is seeing therapy and all the jazz. Again, time will tell. I told her, wow, where was this positive attitude and willingness during your affair? Do what you got to do, I guess. Then I left. I'd say it went pretty well. It felt good. I might do it some more. I'm not reconciling with her. Don't know if you've read my story. But yeah, her affair had major consequences. But in short, I'll sum them up. I exposed, filed for divorce, had her serve D papers at work in front of colleagues and trashy OM, kicked her out, took kid. All in one day. In the weeks after, I completely moved on and began hooking up with other women basically daily. When I didn't have my son, I would never keep our son from his mother. I've explained this in great detail. My wife tried sleeping with me and begging, literally got on her knees and pleaded to let me give her another chance. This would happen most times I'd see her. I just laughed in her face and told her, if it doesn't involve her son, I have nothing to say to you. I was incredibly cold to her. It got to the point where I started having other people with me, like my dad or her dad or mom, when I'd exchange my son. Like all WW who betray a man like me, the drama ramped up. She went from the I'm so depressed I might kill myself, to it was all my fault, I'm so sorry, to I love you, then to I hate you, then to I love you. Then she tried to outplay me. Not going to happen. Most can't keep up, least of all her. So, she became really depressed. All the while, I just ignored her and moved on. Lots of acting on my part, because really, it was killing me. But I know I had to be decisive and make the tough choices. She basically created her own hell, so to speak. I just let her experience it. I never did anything to her directly or purposely. She just became a sort of afterthought. So, her affair in just about 2 hours resulted in this: loss of marriage, humiliation, loss of full-time parental rights, loss of marital home, losing friends and shame from her family and close friends. That's just day one. She would later quit her job, move in with mommy and daddy, see her son and father's relationship blossom without her. Then, and I think this is probably the biggest blow to her ego, saw her husband going with other women, most that were younger. Plus, all the emotional stuff. This hasn't been easy on her, I know this. I only went out with her after I got everything I want. But I could see where it would appear that she's playing games. But she already lost. Plus, she's just one of many right now. Although, I have agreed on one thing. Later this week we are going to go to family and couples counseling. That should be interesting. Like I said, I will not marry her again. And she has to do basically all the heavy lifting. But I still love her. Haven't told her, but I do. My wife is the oldest of 3 sisters. They were all shocked and in my corner. They thought she was the dumbest woman on earth to cheat on me. Her father was deeply disappointed, and I guess he yelled at her pretty harshly when he found out, but they're close, so his disgust and anger wasn't permanent. Her mother was sad, but she is her mom and was there emotionally for my wife. My wife is pretty close with her family, with the exception of her youngest sister. It's not that they're not close or love each other very much, but they sort of compete and have a rivalry. That will come up, I'm sure, in the counseling session. Her best friend, who was recently cheated on and divorced, basically disowned her completely. But they are beginning to talk again. Although my wife probably has some jealousy there too. I think my wife cheated on me to get my attention and to make sure I cared. Also, I think she had it in her head that I had an affair and wanted to bang her younger sister. Messed up, I know, but I think that's why. I guess we'll find out soon enough. Her family has been amazing in all this. They're great-grandparents. So are my mom and dad. They did not validate my ex's affair. They were great. My wife is working. She has been for months. She is very talented and obviously doesn't need me for financial support. I will not remarry her. Under no circumstances. If we enter a relationship, it will be exclusive. But I'm going to keep her guessing till then. Might be a bit cruel, but it's really a test for her. If she's willing to ride the bench while others get some playing time, work on herself and take responsibility for her actions, then she might have a chance. Might. I'm not reconciling with my wife. Unless you call reconciling living apart and me seeing other women reconciling. I'm going to a therapy session because she asked me to. I'm doing it for her, really. And plus, things do need to be said and probably should be said in a controlled environment. I view it as if me going to the therapy helps her grow as a person, that it is beneficial to me because she will be a better mother to our son. In terms of testing her, that's what I'm doing. If say she were to start dating guys or whatever in the next 4 or 5 or 6 months, I would know that any romantic future with her is completely out of the question for me. I told her she can go out and fool around. I expect no exclusivity. She told me she only wants me. We'll see how true that is. I'm in control. Fully. If I find out she has been fooling around, I'll just know that it's over and she doesn't really want only me. I won't hold a grudge. I got everything I want. My house, my incredibly strong relationship with my son, a divorce from lying, cheating wife, and a bachelor lifestyle that most men would give their right nut for. I'm all good. Everything I've done, including sleeping with her and caring for her by showing interest in her therapy, has a purpose. There is no wasted motion with me. I'm glad after our dinner date we went back to her place. I had to make sure my little buddies were still in place. But I do love her still kind of baffled on that lol. I can't know if months or even a year down the line, even if she does everything right, that I still want to reconcile with her. I'm not forcing her to do anything. It's all on her. Her behavior and life are her own. I can only control me and maybe help her be a better person. We got to co-parent. No test or vetting about that one. And this dynamic will have to last for the rest of our lives. As this event has shown to me, you never stop being a parent to your child. Never. I do not want my wife to have any resentment toward me. Hence the therapy. And also, I like her. I don't resent her. I want her to grow as a person. And the love is still there. That alone deserves a little consideration. I do worry about my boy thinking his mom and dad are going to live together, and that might be confusing. We are very involved in our son's life and talk to him all the time. I read behavior pretty well, and if our son demonstrates or tells me or her that he's wondering if we are getting back together, my ex and I will set him down together and tell him what's going on. If needed, we would go to family therapy. But my son is doing so well, another shocker, that I doubt this will happen. It's amazing how he's trucked through this like it's nothing. He's actually excelled and tells us that he's really happy with having 2 rooms and 2 houses that are his. When he wants to see his mom, I will never stop him, and vice versa. We constantly talk to our son. I do daily all the time and always gauge his body language. He's doing pretty well. He does miss his mommy though. A few times he's cried, mostly early on. This was very tough on me and brutal on his mom, yet another in-your-face consequence of her affair. I don't really date any of these women I'm seeing. If, and this is a big if, I were to find a woman that I want exclusivity from, I would not be involved with my ex on an emotional level that would cross boundaries of co-parenting. And I definitely wouldn't bang her, then bang my GF. I don't need that. I get tons of play as a single guy. If I commit, I will fully commit. It's not revenge. Not at all. If I really wanted to punish her, I would sleep with her sister, then best friend, then manipulate our kid to not like her, then take her back, lead her on, and cheat for the rest of the marriage. If I were truly that type of person, that would be about just, but I'm not like that. I love her very much. I want her to be better for her and our son. She is having a ton of regret and angst. She's taking drugs, not illegal, but she's on anti-anxiety and antidepressants all the time. That's not her. She's never been one of those women that needs to be regulated with scripts. I want her to let it go and just accept it for what it is. Hence the therapy. She asked me to go. I didn't and won't volunteer for anything for her. I want her to get better for herself. She needs to get better coping skills and relinquish her jealousy and constant need for my affection. In short, she would need to make her own happiness and not rely on me to create it for her. I truly believe her affair stemmed from built-up jealousy, lack of communication, and me ignoring her emotional needs and her need to get my attention. I also think she wanted it too. She wanted the thrill of it as well, something of a secret she could hold over me. In short, she would really need to woman up. Even then though, I'm not really sure. I'm doing pretty well, so I don't know if I could even reconcile. I guess I'll know if I even get to that headspace. The reality is that I can and probably will never trust her enough. I love her, and I can't just ignore it. I have tried. Divorce, separate houses, coldness, having tons of women, and so on and so on. It hasn't really left or even decreased. So, I've given her just enough to either prove that she's worthy of even consideration, and when I say consideration, I mean dating. She will not move in with me, and we will not act like hubby and wife basically. It will just move to an exclusive GF type of thing. It will be slow for us, I guess. I mean, we are having lots of bonding, so slow for us isn't really slow. This should probably be addressed in the therapy session. If she wants to see other guys, then that's cool, and I'll know that it's truly time to move on. And I will. First off, my wife is an incredible person. I've said how good of a person she is, despite her cheating, before. I am not punishing her at all. She made a terribly stupid yet purposeful choice to cheat on me. It was a deal breaker. This was established by both of us when we began dating. Sleeping with other people was a no. Period. I just kept to the agreement, so to speak. Now, have I been cold and demonstrative a bit? Yeah, but that's just kind of my personality when something like this has happened. But I am not punishing her at all. I want nothing but the best for her and for her to continue to be a great mother. If that means that her and I have no contact at all, then that would be fine. I am not coercing her or forcing her to see me physically at all. She initiates it most of the time. Now, she is using it to get me back, that I have no doubt of, and I'm okay with that. I know it's not easy for her too, but at the end of the day it was her choice to cheat. Just as it was my choice to file, and it's my choice to continue to see her physically. But it's her choice here. I'm not forcing her to do anything. As far as putting her on the rotation, again, I'm totally upfront with her about this. I'm not forcing her at all. She just wants a piece. So, she gets a slice every now and then. As far as my past, I've a lot of women. It is what it is, and I don't regret it at all. Many were married. I was a player to the max and a dog. I cheated on girlfriends that I lied to. And so on and so on. I was a real piece of work. Clear till I was about 24. So, I do think it's karma. I've said so before. Now, I didn't deserve, no one does, to be cheated on, but I kind of had it coming, I guess. Although, I've been cheated on in the past. It's really too bad that the love of my life did it to me. But it happened and I moved on. As far as the present, I'm pretty sure that all the chicks I've had since I filed and kicked WW out are single. I don't actively seek out married women. I have no desire to be the other man ever. Again, I played with fire when I was younger and I did get burned. Once, and it had a profound impact on how I viewed how I was living. But yeah, like I said, I was a real piece of crap and player back in the day. But I did change. I was completely faithful in relationship with my ex. I expected the same from her. But life happens, I guess. And I'm not a good man. I just hang out with good people. I respect my ex-wife and value her as an intricate part in my son's life. Hence, why I agreed on joint custody and she can see him whenever he wants to, even if it's not the agreed upon legal time of the custodial agreement. My comment, did you like this OP? Or you think he is not a role model? Comment down. I have spent the whole morning work on this video. Subscribe if you haven't and I will see you in the next one.